Good morning, folks. It's another great and wonderful day that the Lord has made. He's woke us up one more time. He's gave us another Bible verse for today. That Bible verse comes from the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, and verse 25. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more, as ye see the day approaching. See, this is a major problem in our day. You know, people simply do not go to church, especially regularly. Some of the excuses that people use are I can meet with God anywhere. This is true, you can. They said, I don't need to go to church. Or, those hypocrites at the church really turned me off. See? But others, some of them, just sit at home and watch television, saying they are tired and that God will understand. Sure, He understands. He understands you don't want to come to His house to visit with Him and fellowship with His other children. See? But when we see an example of the gathering to share the word in Acts chapter 20 and verse 7. Upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them, ready to depart on the morrow, and continued his speech until midnight. See, he preached all the way to midnight. People sat there with their ears wide open, and their hearts wide open, and their minds wide open to hear what it was that God had for them, what God was saying through Paul. See, and you can see the great interest in learning more of God. See, because he preached until midnight, and people didn't worry about it. They didn't say, "Oh, I'm too tired. I'm going on home." You know. See, but we find a very good reason to go to church in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 21. So, where it says, for after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. See, to hear preaching and just throw it out the window, throw it down on the floor, walk on it, it's plumb foolishness to you. But those that take it to their heart and use it and believe it, it'll work. It works for them. See, you know, David over the book of Psalms said, I believe it's in Psalms 122 and verse 1. He said, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. See, even the psalmist was glad to go to church. See? And all through Jesus' ministry, if you read through his ministry, through his life, he always went to church. He went to the synagogue, see, because that was what was supposed to be done. See, so if it's good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me. And those of you that sit at home and say, I can worship God at home as well as I can in church, well, maybe so. I know you can worship God at home, but you know what? If you're not good enough to come to his house in this lifetime, when he comes back, are you sure that he's going to be good enough to come to your house and seek you out just to find you to take you to heaven with him? Or is he going to come for his people that are faithful to the house of God? Think about these things, folks. Pray about them. And that's all for today, folks. ASAP.